should you approach this interview question on tell me about your strengths? What are your strengths? This is a question you mostly be asked, and it doesn't matter whether you are at entry level or senior level. There's a high probability that someone will ask you, what are your strengths? And it doesn't have to be that direct. Someone can ask you, what are you good at? They could also ask you, tell me, what do you like doing? So in today's video, I'm going to help you how to answer, tell me about your strength. And not just answer, but be able to answer in a convincing manner, so that whoever is asking you this question, at the end of the interview, they find you competent for the job. And guess what? You'll be able to go to the next level and even get that job offer. Now, I have interviewed many candidates. As you know, I have over 10 years of experience in the HR and the recruitment industry. And I would say on the occasion when I ask candidates this question, and majority of them are senior professionals, only 20% of them get it right. And the reason being, most of us, when you ask this question, tell me about your strength, what are your strengths? All of us look inward, and we think the interviewer is asking us about our strengths as individuals. But should that be the case? Today I'm here to tell you no, that shouldn't be the case. Always remember, when you're being interviewed, someone wants to know you as a professional. And this is something I keep insisting, and if you look even at the other video I did on weaknesses, I really emphasized on that. You need to stick on you as a professional. So having said that, then what are some of the things that you have to have in mind when you're answering this question? Number one is I want to know you as a professional. So don't give me those answers of I'm hardworking, I'm self-motivated, I have initiative. Those are the common answers that we give when you ask this question. But then what happens, and this is my point number two, you have to note, it doesn't make you stand. Why? Because I have interviewed many professionals, even the HR interviewing you or even the manager interviewing you, they've had all these answers. So when you give us the same answers, you don't stand out. And you wonder then, that interview was so easy, how come I didn't pass it? But it's because you're giving me the same answers that the next candidate will give or the one before you give. So how do you stand out? Okay? So how can you improve? How can you give an answer that makes sense to you and the interviewer? The way to answer this interview question is, if I were in your position, before I enter that interview room, I will look at the job description, and again, I'll look at what I have done. I'll look at my CV, and I ask myself, what does this job require? So for example, I as a HR practitioner, I must be good with training. I must be good with the labor laws. I must be good with performance management. I must be good with coming up with HR policies. If you're an accountant, a senior accountant at that level, I want you to talk about things to do with cash flows. I want you to talk about things with budgeting. I want you to talk about things to do with financial reporting. If you're a digital marketer, I want to hear things to do with SEO, email campaigns. You're also able to do adverts, all those kind of things. So look at what you've done and what the job requires. And then when they ask you this question, what they want to hear is based on what we are looking for, what are you good at? It's as simple as that. Someone asking you, what are your strengths? They want to hear, based on the job that we are interviewing you for, what are you good at? And there is where you say, based on my 5 years of experience or 7 years of experience, I have found that I'm very good or I'm very competent in these areas. So if I'm HR, I can say I'm very competent and passionate on training. I'm very competent, passionate on performance management. I'm also very good at labor laws. And then don't just even stop there, even give an example. You can say, for example, when I was working as a HR manager for this organization, because I'm very good with training, I would ensure that every month I do two trainings, one for the senior management and one for the junior employees. You say, if I'm an accountant, I'm very good at tax matters and the the three institutions I've worked for, everyone has been audited by KRA, and KRA always give us a clean bill of health. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can definitely see that you don't have to say you're a perfectionist. All you have to do is look at your profession, look at what you do, what comes easy to you, what are you passionate about, and what can you even do with your eyes closed. That's what we want to know. You don't want to hear you're a perfectionist, you don't want to hear you're a hard worker. Because the reality is, how can I prove that you're a hard worker during those 30 minutes I'm interviewing you? The reality is I can't be able. But when you tell me you are very good at filing taxes, I can be able to ask you the dates that taxes are filed, the challenges that someone meets, and there we can have a conversation. So when you give us one of your skills as a strength, then you make even the interviewer to be more confident with you. So I'm sure now with that, you'll be able to approach the strength interview question better, and you'll be able to shine during your next interview. And if you're the kind of person who's always getting job interviews, you apply for jobs and you're lucky enough to get job interviews, but whenever you attend those interviews, you either become number 2, number 3, or you don't even get to hear from employers, then it's a high time you sought the services of an interview coach. So here at Corporate Staffing Services, on a given month, we offer interview coaching services, and where we take candidates step by step on how to be able to be confident when it comes to facing employers during interviews. So it's a mock interview. You'll sit with the HR expert and they'll be able to handhold you. They'll ask you questions, interview questions relating to the job advert or job description, and they'll be able to guide you based on the answers that you're giving. Are you able to sell yourself? Are you coming out as someone who's confident? Do you come out as someone who knows their stuff? So I would highly encourage you. There's a link below, more information on interview coaching, and get to talk to us, and we'll be able to see how we can help you to be more confident and persuasive when it comes to interviews and you selling yourself.